to another superintendent or some other gentleman that you had gone to lunch with and said, ooh, I gotta be careful because I'm going out with a board member who likes to drink. So I definitely prepared.
Oh, here we go.
Like, I wonder who he was talking about.
Oh, sorry to cut this short, but we recognize that the Hogan Administrative Center occupies the land of the Ho-Chunk people. Please take a moment to celebrate and honor this ancestral Ho-Chunk land and the sacred lands of all Indigenous peoples. Will the secretary please call the roll?
Mr. Abraham?
Here.
Ms. Baumann?
Here.
Ms. Como?
Here.
Dr. Cooper-Stoll?
Here.
Dr. Jimenez?
Here.
Ms. Leahy?
Here.
Mr. Lee?
Here.
Mr. Korberg?
Here.
Mr. Spivey?
Absent. A quorum of the Board of Education is present, so the regularly scheduled meeting of February 21, 2022 is called to order, and we will now have the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand and face the American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Tonight's agenda has previously been distributed to the board. With a motion by Mr. Korberg and a second by Ms. Como, we will approve the agenda as submitted unless there is a motion to amend. Is there a motion to amend? Hearing none, we will have a roll call vote.
Mr. Abraham?
Aye.
Ms. Baumann?
Aye.
Ms. Como?
Aye.
Dr. Cooper-Stoll?
Aye.
Ms. Leahy?
Aye.
Mr. Lee?
Aye.
Dr. Jimenez? Oh, excuse me, Mr. Korberg?
Aye.
Dr. Jimenez?
Aye. The motion has passed. We'll move on to public speakers. We do not have any slated to speak this evening, so then we'll move on to our school showcase with the representatives from Central High School Student Senate. Are they present?
I think we've delayed it in light of the weather.
Sounds good. Just wanted to verify. Thank you so much, Dr. Engel. Then we will move on to the approval of the superintendent's consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the items on the superintendent's consent agenda as presented.
Second.
The consent agenda is a mechanism used by the board to deal with routine business that must come before the body. Are there any items that the members want to remove from the consent agenda? Hearing none, with a motion by Mr. Korberg and a second by Ms. Como, the items on the superintendent's consent agenda are approved as presented, and we will have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Abraham?
Aye.
Ms. Baumann?
Aye.
Ms. Como?
Aye.
Dr. Cooper-Stoll?
Aye.
Ms. Leahy?
Aye.
Mr. Lee?
Aye.
Mr. Korberg?
Aye.
Dr. Jimenez?
Aye. We will move on to approval of the board consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the items on the board consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Are there any items that the members want to remove from the board consent agenda? Hearing none, with a motion by Mr. Korberg and a second by Ms. Como, the items on the board consent agenda are approved as presented, and we will have a roll call vote as well.
Mr. Abraham?
Aye.
Ms. Baumann?
Aye.
Ms. Como?
Aye.
Dr. Cooper-Stoll?
Aye.
Ms. Leahy?
Aye.
Mr. Lee?
Aye.
Mr. Korberg?
Aye.
Dr. Jimenez?
Aye. We will move on to information and OE3, Operational Expectation Monitoring Report, Treatment of Community Stakeholders. It looks like the administration does not have any recommended changes for OE3.
That is correct.
Does the board have any recommended changes for OE3, Treatment of Community Stakeholders? It didn't sound like there were any at our last board meeting, so hearing none then, we will move on to 7.02, Results Monitoring Report, R3.3, Involved Citizenship. Again, it looks like administration did not have any changes for 3.3.
That is correct.
Okay, any from the board? Doesn't sound like it, and again, R3 will come back to us as a whole at some point in time in the future. So then we will move on to announcements. So I will turn it over to Ms. Como.
Well, our biggest thing that happened for CISA 4 is we had 2 meetings since our January meetings. Keel Arneson has decided to retire, so we are now on the search for a new administrator for CISA 4. So the next few weeks and months will be very busy before the rearrangement of the lacrosse school board. So I'm looking forward to my big hurrah of hiring a new, second time, CISA 4 administrator.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to Ms. Bauman and the La Crosse Public Education Foundation update.
Yeah, so I have a few things I want to mention. The LPEF just received a $10,000 donation from the Charlie and Will Nordine May the Force Be With You Fund out of the La Crosse Community Foundation. And this benefits the Emergency Family Random Acts of Kindness Fund. So this is a little different from the traditional random acts of kindness in that it can be used for family needs like car repairs or travel, childcare costs, diapers, utility bills, things like that. It cannot be used for food needs or rental, and part of that was decided because there are other services in the community that can kind of fit those needs. Additionally, the Beer by Bike Brigade is hosting a raffle to benefit the same Emergency Random Acts of Kindness Fund on Saturday, February 26th. That's all I have.
Can I add to that? It's a drive-through event here at Hogan, so you can come here and get your tickets, so.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. So the only announcement I have is typically we do recognize our outgoing board members at the retirement dinner that we have at the end of the year, but I wanted to take a special moment to recognize Don Como. Given the results of the primary that we had last week, I just wanted to recognize Dawn's service. For 2 terms, she has served on this board. She has served on district-wide parents. She has been an invaluable asset to the school district and to the students in the community. She has been a great mentor to me. I've sat next to her for my entire first term, and I really appreciate her value in wanting to ensure that all voices are heard at this table. And so I cannot thank you enough for what you do and for what you have done for this school district, and I wanted this community to hear that at this time. So thank you, Dawn, for what you have done.
Thank you, Dawn. I
Yes.
appreciate that.
Historically, Dr. Jimenez, we've also opened that up to other board members who might like to share.
Yep.
Are you going to do that?
I am going to do that. So are there others who would like to share at this time?
Well, I'd like to say, Don, you're one of the old members like me. I think you came on the year after I did, and I appreciated working with you. You've always had the students as well as the community in mind in all the work that you've done. You've showed up and listened and worked with a number of people or groups in the community to get things done. So I appreciate everything you've done, and I will miss you on the board.
I would also weigh in. I think that one of the things I've often said about Ms. Como is that she is probably one of the most dedicated, hardworking school board members that we have ever had. With the exception of perhaps Brad, I don't know of anyone else who has taken off as much time from work to be at various events. I've seen her take, I think I came in a year or so after you, I've seen you take risk as a new school board member that others might have avoided. There has never been a doubt about your commitment to the district and the community, and I thank you very much for your service to this board.
Any others? Brenda?
I would completely agree with what everyone has said, Dawn. I saw you serve on district-wide parents for many, many years, and you gave me the inspiration to run for school board, so thank you. And I also know how much you've done for all the schools in La Crosse, a lot of behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about, so thank you so much.
I echo that too, as far as you are always the person who was at every outside function. It was very impressive.
Yeah, and I just want to add that you've been very welcoming and friendly, and it's been wonderful to serve with you these few months.
It's been awesome to meet all of you.
Yeah.
And, I'm still here. I'm still an asset, so
Yeah.
you can always tap me even if I'm not a board member, so.
And we will. So thank you very, very much. And I'll move on to the announcements from Superintendent Engel.
Just one announcement, this week, National School Social Work Week is coming up March 6th through 12th. I think this pandemic has shown the value of our school social workers more than ever, and we are so thankful for all that they do and excited to highlight some of the work that they do in our school district.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to agenda planning.
I'll make a motion to approve the March 7th, 2022 Board of Education agenda with any additions or corrections.
Second?
There's a motion from Mr. Korberg and a second by Ms. Como to approve the March 7th, 2022 Board of Education agenda with any additions or corrections. May I have a roll call vote, please, Ms. Stegerwald?
Mr. Abraham?
Aye.
Ms. Baumann? Aye. Ms. Como?
Aye.
Dr. Cooper Stoll?
Aye.
Ms. Leahy?
Aye.
Mr. Lee?
Aye.
Mr. Korberg?
Aye.
Dr. Jimenez?
Aye. Dr. Cooper Stoll, unless you have anything to add, I think we can dispense with the debriefing tonight. And due to the weather, the workshop this evening is canceled, and so with that, we will adjourn, and I hope everybody gets home safe tonight. So thank you, everybody.
That was-